Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Friday, August 4th. We're going to take a look at Tilray today. So Tilray has been on a bit of a jump lately, up almost 15% this day, and then almost 11, and 6, and 11 again. So a really good run. So we're going to put in some support and resistance levels, see what what the price action might look like in the days ahead, and then we're going to come over here to Think or Swim, and we're going to go ahead and check out this study and see if this indicates anything in addition to what we see on the Weeble chart. This is going to give me a challenging view, I can already tell. But in any case, let's start here and we'll just kind of go from there. So the first thing that stands out to me is this gap. So the threat of a gap fill looms, which could stretch it down to entering the gap at like 190 and then filling it right around, what is that, 172 or so? What was the high on this day? Yeah, 172. So I'm going to turn this so it doesn't stand out too much, but if we get in there, we'll notice it. And that's the first thing that seems pretty apparent to me. You see this recent gap that it filled, this big gap down on May 26th, and it has recently filled that, right? That price action coming through about 232 or so was able to fill that gap. So that seems to be the most kind of obvious thing. And then let's see if this trend line actually plots or not. If not, we'll just take it back out. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a great one. I mean, you could say that was this jumping out, but I mean, this is just a once confirmed, right? If you put this trend line in, it's just this most recent confirmation. Don't really know. Same thing. You know, I'd be reluctant to put it down here and say this most recent move was out of that downtrend because this was just once confirmed. So it might never play a role again. If it does, then we can always come back and put that on the chart. But as of now, I'm not going to worry about it. So floor. There's obviously a couple of floors here. One, 232.4, so just above where we are at the moment. You see this floor here before the big gap down, and it was also trying to, well, it did catch it, you know, in this area here. And then a subsequent sort of double bottom area right around 218, which also then sort of flips here as well. It's not as clean as I would like, but let's scroll back and see if there's more price action that we can go off of. Okay, that's sort of, no, not really. Okay, so we're going to have to work with what we have here in relatively recent price action and just sort of do the best we can with it. So we're going to really very quickly be at a bit of a loss for a ton of price action. I'll take this wick and this wick, and I'll put a level there at 211. If we come down over here, let's see. Oops, didn't mean to put that in. Let's just get rid of that. I'm very tired today, so apologies. I'm going to be a little dingy, but we're just going to have to work through it together. So just shy of where it may get into this gap, 193, I would say there's a level there. You know, I'd be apt to think that there's something sort of in between here. You know what we should do? Let's go, you know, just because once we could put all of these levels in, like 182 seems to be a pretty obvious level. Another obvious level like 176. But once we're in the gap, we're just going to kind of be in the gap. So if it starts to spend a lot of time in that gap, we can come in and build some additional levels like really granularly in there. But I'm going to pull, since we're just looking at like a short period of time, I'm going to pull from a shorter time frame just right here on the 10-minute and see what stands out between this 211 and this 193, because that's sort of what I'm most interested in. Okay, so I would say there's probably something here. Let me see if, yeah, this topping out. I know that this is in off hours, but there was also this big sort of wrestling with the level here, and it ultimately pushed off. So I would take that as a level, and then right about here, 196 maybe. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit more a tight level. Tight levels to have. Okay, I'm gonna put one here as well. 207 or 208, I guess, actually. When it has this additional digit as the decimal point, it can be kind of confusing. But so I see 232.4 as the nearest in level. 218 coming down. We can put one in between those. There's all of this price action recently. I would put it right around here, 225. And then there might also be one here, 222. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So those are the levels that I would look at in that range. Now, I know that that's mostly down, so I don't want this to just be a bunch of, lower levels, but so here are the levels as I see them. I'll kind of scroll through so they pop out. You can see them. And then let's take a look at some levels to the upside in case it does continue to push, where it might go from here. Okay, here, 239.7. And then, where is this level? Okay, it's a little messy, but I'm going to put it about there, 246.5. Let's plot our way. Let's do like 2 more levels up. 252.5, and then one more. I'll put it right about here. Might be a little something there around 257. I'd say the stronger level is about here, 262. Okay, so those are the levels that I see to the upside. If it stretches beyond that, if it has some more of these big, plus 10, 11% days, it could get through there relatively quickly, and we can certainly come back and put some additional levels in. Sorry. It's hard to stop. It's like Pringles or whatever whoever has that slogan. Once you pop, you can't stop. Okay, so this is kind of garbage. It appears to me as though this is stretching out of the channel to the upside. I don't know why sometimes Thinkorswim just flattens everything out and makes it, because it's in like this very tight channel, but I mean, why they can't make it so that when you zoom in, it doesn't look this terrible, I don't know. But in any case, it had this recent triggering recently on the squeeze, the TTM squeeze indicator, and then fired off, and it had, a bunch of bullish momentum. My question here is going to be, is this peaking out and it's going to start dying down? I don't know. It certainly could continue to push more, but it appears as though it spent some time out of the channel and now might be working its way back into the channel a bit. A little bit hard to tell, as you can see, but that's sort of what I'd be looking for. If it is stretched out of the channel at some point, probably returning back toward the center line of the channel, and depending on what day that happens, it'll be at whatever price the mid-range of the channel is at that point. Hopefully, if we get some more strong price action over a longer period of time, this channel will widen, will broaden, and we can actually have a better view of it. Or I could figure out how to make it work so that regardless of if Thinkorswim flattens it out or not, that I could come in and make it at least usable. We could look on a shorter time frame, maybe on like the hour. Okay, so at least when you zoom in, you can see. So on the hour, you see it came out of the channel down here, came all the way stretched up to the top, and then reverted to the midline and was riding the midline. And now on the hour, sort of pushing the bottom bound of the channel. It is up above this cloud, which I believe is the 180 to 200 MA. EMA. I had just looked last night. EMA 180, 200. That's the cloud. So, by that standard, you could be considering it still in a bullish trend or an uptrend. But it is, pushing the bottom of the channel. So it relatively recently fell out, but it did draw in really quickly after it fell out. So, some erratic price action intraday, day to day. But in the longer term, relatively flat channel-wise, as we see here. I know that there's been large price differentials, but for whatever reason, this is what we have. So sorry about that. But these are the levels that I see. And, my biggest concern at the moment for the bulls is that potential gap down. So we'll see if that plays out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we can plot some levels above 274 if it continues to push higher. All right, folks, I hope you had a good trading week and that you have an enjoyable weekend. And I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.